Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So I've been pretty much running around the internet space looking for news and information regarding this new Batman game or based on the teasers. Now, I just want to quickly go ahead and say that I will be as much as possible staying close with this story until we see something, because I feel like the community is behaving somewhat lethargic and there's not enough excitement being generated right now. I'm going to make a video regarding that. It's going to be dropping soon. I already made it. Just a critique of the community's behavior so far. I feel like, they're not showing enough love for the information that, the community had actually requested. But this Twitter feed from this person here, Casey Walsh, the comics kid, pretty much actually gives a lot of information about this particular game based on maybe information that they've received. Now, I do know that these are just leaks, things can change, but it seems that one thing that Warner Brothers Montreal is very much trying to do is staying as unpredictable as possible. Remember, during the video game awards, it was predicted that the game was probably going to show up very soon. The name was predicted, and everybody was thinking maybe there'll be some kind of a tease there. And I feel like that would have actually been a best place to do something like what they're doing now. But eventually nothing showed up regarding the game, and I feel like they probably pulled the plug on something like that at the very last minute. Now, this guy here is saying on Twitter that one of the things that he actually, one of his tweets did say that this game is going to be primarily next gen. So this is definitely something that a lot of people have been asking. And he says this way, he says, as much as I want to discuss it, I can't. All I'll say is, it's going to be a next-gen game primarily. So when he means primarily, it's most likely going to have a PC release, but I think it's going to be something that's going to be pushing consoles out. Now, I've said this before on the channel. One of the reasons I feel like this game is getting delayed in a sense is because the next generation of games are coming out. And I feel like Warner Brothers Games wants to leverage as much as possible to see who will be willing, in terms of Microsoft and Xbox, to want to kind of, grab a little bit more extra content and leverage more sales on their platform. Because remember, PlayStation, they got some skins that Xbox didn't get, and I think Xbox got like a few missions here and there, but I don't know if it was cross-platform. But there was some separate stuff like Scarecrow stuff that was on PlayStation that did not come to the Xbox, Xbox One with Arkham Knight. So this is definitely something that we need to look at. Now, something else that's really interesting that this Casey Walsh, the comic kid, said was that he is not really comfortable in how, in discussing much more because of the way there's a PR control over this game. And he says whenever PR is controlling stuff, they can actually shift dates and all of that. Now, I can't find the exact tweet where he actually said it, but I read it here. So you just have to come to his Twitter, feed and actually find it, because he mentioned that. And once he said that, I was like, man, that is actually very interesting to actually have some understanding into why we didn't see anything at the video game awards. Perhaps they didn't want to, put something out there and not be certain how they want to do it. Plus, with the information that we're getting from him saying it's going to be primarily next gen, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not, that it's not going to at least be cross-generation, itself. Someone said, I'm pretty sure it's cross-gen. The job listings on WB Montreal a while back said it will be coming to current gen. Plus, it would make a lot of sense to make a next-gen version as well. And so this guy, the Casey Walsh guy, said it will be hard for them to not make a way, to not find a way to make it run on PS4 and Xbox One with a huge install base. But I don't know for sure. It's possible they could handle the processing elsewhere if this new info is even true. Now, let's dissect this from a business perspective, okay? So you're releasing a game with a cross-generation of consoles where PlayStation was touted to have sold at least in the tens of millions of units, and Xbox also touted to have sold about that much. So you have an existing, platform of over 20, 30, 40 million consoles available at your reach. It is a no-brainer that you will not release a version of that game on that platform right out the bat. For you to expect people to jump out there and go pay $500 or whatever the price of a new console is, and then purchase your game, maybe they have enough money to buy your game and their favorite game, is just an unwise business decision. So even though it may be a primarily next gen game, I think it's going to be branded with the next gen, but will most likely be coming to this gen, because like this guy said, with the huge install base, meaning they're just people ready off the bat. Once they announce it, pre-orders are going to be ready to go. It will make sense to put it on the PlayStation Store and put it on the Xbox Store as well. So I think this is something that the community needs to be taking a very close look at. I know a lot of people have, their different mind frames on this, but it's really nice to start following the story as we go on, because it is absolutely important that we know where we stand as a community, so that when something, because it's what PR drops for us that we're going to actually get. So if we can start voicing our opinions now to see where we can maybe even push the conversation, because largely I do not believe that they're going to make this console generation too different from the next console generation, especially with the talk about Sony wanting backward compatibility, because there's just a huge PlayStation library that I feel like a lot of people are most likely they're going to want to carry that over. Think about your game progress on other games that you've been playing on PS4, and then the day you decide you want to buy a PS5, you're looking back and saying, so I have to start all over again. What are games like Mortal Kombat 11 going to do? That game barely came out this year. They're not going to go, make another Mortal Kombat 12 or something just because there's a new console that's coming out, and they'll also want to get more copies sold on the PS5 and Xbox Series X. So I think cross-gen is where everybody stands right now, because the current gen consoles are actually very strong to be able to process many games. I don't think there are many games that are out of the reach of the consoles because they can optimize them for them. Now, yes, it's not going to be PC powerful, but this is definitely something that I feel is worth looking at. So thank you very much for listening to the video. I appreciate you guys' time and audience. Hit the subscribe button. I'll be bringing as many updates as I possibly can to this conversation. Thank you so much for your support lately. I do appreciate you guys, engaging the content, and I'll see you in another video. Peace out.